Do I have to go and hand that one in? That's supposed to be recorded. You. Zwaldar? More like... Wait, his name's seriously Zwaldar? Anyway, it's gone now. You go tell Otto. So I need to go find Otto. But whoa, do I have to go this way for the park? If I have to go, I can't remember. Which is sad, because this is practically where I am, where I spent most of my time in CS2 so far. Yeah, it's this way, okay. So we do actually want to go back to Otto. Otto! Otto! I haven't got that far in Chosen Cold Steel 2. And it's mostly because I got stuck at the first boss, of all things. I know it sounds stupid that I got stuck at the first boss, but I beat it and then left it at the second region they go to. Which is a shame, really. Taking out the monster, can't think of enough. What is? Umita! Chugging new material. What's he do? Gives me 5 of them. God damn it! Are you kidding me? Game, you're a troll. Sometimes I wonder. Right, I need to... there's one last thing I want to sort out before I call this a recording session. And it is a biggie. I call it a biggie, but it's... Damn it! It's not a biggie, but it's just something you really do want to get sorted out. Also, evil crows.
Turn to flames!
No, not to him now.
I'll get you up!
That's good.
My turn!
I guess it's time this one. Yep. Seems to the job.
Here we go. There.
And then Blue Lullaby, which gets on 3, should kill 2, I'm lucky. Go to sleep. And smashy smashy.
Right. Huh?
Get 3 crit of sleep.
We should keep going.
And no job, okay. I've got no way, I'm like... Yep. Oh god, no! Oh no! Don't you dare! If you drop it now, I swear! This is stupid to be it's just gonna... They got 2 turns in a row, really? Right, let's do this. Set up combat link with Laura and go for the U3.
There.
Really? Set up a combat link with Elliot.
It's my turn.
Let's get a blessed arrow in the air, which helps out Laura.
You have my things.
I think Earth Cleave is going to be best. That tomato can stop dodging! Words are important to say in my life. That tomato can stop dodging. And Elliot's got that's AoE. Oh, I forgot about that. It's still do friendly fire. Yeah, hit these 2, it should be a kill.
There.
2 kills even. Oh god damn it, Elliot! Can we get an art off before we can't? Get put breath on Laura.
Let's go.
Laura, try an armor breaker. I doubt it's going to break through, but yes! Don't you dare be a U material.
Huh? You have my things. Thanks.
Let's actually throw up.
My turn.
Yeah, I don't have the area heal one. Use Tiara. Whatever you can do. If you can, we're probably going to waste it. Oh, wait, it actually works. What? Oh, okay, that's not you as well. Yeah. Dead. I swear.
Okay, it's safe for now.
Thank God! I would have raged if it was material now! Hey Swift, why do you hate our Celdic tomatoes? Because of that! Let's keep going. There's literally not a lot left of this. Okay. Someone needs to visit in... Can we drop his name? Wow, this counts as a combat zone. Really? Okay. Okay. The last thing I want to do is, I believe it's you. A book I finished reading, can't bother to get rid of it, you can have it. Red Moon Rose, Chapter 3. I believe we have all of them so far? Yes. 30 pages. Now, I haven't had any replies, so I'm gonna just, like, leave this as is. Well, actually, no. Next morning, Alphonse found himself in his commanding officer's, Gerard's, office. He had come to request permission to independently investigate the vampire murders. Gerard scratched his head before giving Alphonse a questioning look, his eyes filled with the kind of vitality one would expect from a much younger man. You want to pursue the case all on your own? Alphonse cleared his throat nervously. He was well aware that what he was asking for was completely unreasonable. Not on my own. A civilian's agreed to help me conduct my investigation. The two of us will be working together. It sounded pretty weak to him, but Rose had been adamant that they keep the truth of the matter to themselves. It wouldn't be to the benefit of society for the existence of vampires to become widely known, she insisted. As such, try and arrange for us to be able to investigate the murders by ourselves without interruption. Aside from a cool farewell for now, those had been her last words before disappearing into the night. And what she had said made sense. There was simply no way that Gerard would believe that vampires existed, even if it was his surrogate son trying to persuade him. After all, despite seeing a ghoul with his very own eyes, part of Alphonse still wanted to believe that it had all been a dream. To compound the problem further, for reasons that Alphonse wasn't privy to, Rose seemed opposed to anything other than investigating the matter covertly. As such, her joining the team formed to officially investigate the murders was off the table. Alphonse was therefore left with no choice but to propose that the two of them investigate together in secret. Alphonse was not surprised then to see Gerard's less than willing expression. Listen, Al, as your guardian, I've got a responsibility to look after you. That's why I want to raise you to be a fine soldier, and why I don't want you putting your life in danger for no good reason. Alphonse flushed. He'd already been removed from the team investigating the murders, as well as taken off night patrol duty. Gerard is well aware of his fixation with the case. That was exactly why he was afraid that Alphonse might end up going too far in his attempts to solve it and get injured, or worse. Gerard, sir, I understand exactly what you're trying to say, and I appreciate your concern, but... Seeing Alphonse's determination, Gerard hesitated. The boy standing before him was calm with clear eyes, where previously there had been recklessness. Now purpose and resolve seemed to rule after a lengthy silence. He let out a sigh of resignation. You really do take after your father. He smiled fondly, but quickly switched to his official commanding officer voice. I expect you to give your utmost successfully solving the mystery behind these murders. However, I will approve of this mission only on the condition that you report daily on the results of your investigation. Alphonse almost responded in his usual casual tone, but caught himself just in time. He coughed, cleared his throat, and stood to attention. Gerard chuckled. Just be sure not to put yourself needlessly in danger, understood? And if anything happens, inform me immediately. Yes, sir! Alphonse gave a deep bow, grateful for his guardian's kindness. I see that everything went well. That is good news. The two of them were in the corner of the shopping district where the first victim of the vampire murders has been found. It was the middle of the day, but the alleyway in which they stood was gloomy and draped in shadows by the looming buildings that surrounded it. The second he had stepped out into the narrow passageway, Rose had appeared out of nowhere, just like the previous day. Because this place where Alphonse had been attacked by the ghoul the previous night was currently under investigation by the Gerard team, they thought it best to steer clear of it for the rest of the day. As such, they decided to examine the scene of an earlier murder instead. Unlike the previous night, Rose had neither her coat nor her sword with her. Instead, she wore a simple dress in the local style. Anyone seeing her for the first time wouldn't be able to tell that she was anything more than a perfectly ordinary girl. According to Rose, neither vampires nor ghouls were able to operate in daylight, thus battle-ready wear was unnecessary. Everyday clothing also had the benefit of allaying suspicion by blending in. She said, "It was fine logic in theory, with Alphonse still garbed in his military uniform that made for an unusual pairing." As such, Alphonse couldn't help but let out a sigh of relief when he realised how few people were in the surrounding area. The scene of the first murder still had a solemn air about it. Alphonse set about scouring the area, and as he mused over the case details involving the victim, a question came to mind. "Thinking about it, I never heard about any of the earlier victims turning into ghouls. Is that because you've been defeating them?" Rose shook her head. "No. In previous cases, I was able to purify the bodies with thaumatology, before they turn into ghouls. I would rather not harm the bodies of the deceased if I can help it." Thaumaturgy, I don't know what it is, as Rose explained it, was a collective name for special techniques used by a small number of people belonging to the Septian Church. The power of thaumaturgy was also apparently the reason why Rose's rapier and Alphonse's short sword were capable of defeating ghouls and vampires. Curious, Alphonse asked Rose if she was connected to the church, to which she responded, "Feel free to think of it that way." He itched to probe her more on the subject, but she began examining the particulars about ghouls, so he let it drop. Since the murders had started, it seemed that the time it took for corpses to turn to a ghoul was decreasing with every kill. Alphonse's encounter with a ghoul the previous night was the first occasion that she had been unable to purify the victim in time. As such, she had been left with no choice but to fight. Still, that possibility was well within my expectations. It's not the first time it has happened after all. That someone like yourself would appear to try and get involved certainly wasn't, however, Rose said with a giggle, causing Alphonse's ears to turn pink at the tips. "Anyway," he said, crouching down to inspect the ground level, "have you managed to gather anything about the culprits from your previous investigations?" Rose nodded. "Judging by the bite marks left on the victims, I believe that the vampire is likely male. Furthermore, despite victims being found all across the city, the bite marks look the same as one another. That's just the work of a single vampire. Beyond that, however..." Rose fell silent. "Is something bothering you?" Alphonse asked without thinking. "Yes, actually. It may be possible that the vampire looking in the city is..." She stopped mid-sentence. Her gaze was focused on something behind Alphonse. Turning around, he saw a young man in a military uniform, much like himself. It was someone he knew. "Elroy, what are you doing here?" "I was about to ask you the same thing," the old man grumbled. Elroy was a fellow member of the Garad team who had joined around the same time as Alphonse did. That, combined with the two being roughly the same age, one might expect them to get along well. But in reality, they usually ended up arguing about everything. It had been like that for almost as long as Alphonse had known him. "I'd heard he'd formed a separate team to check up on the murders, but I had no idea that it was just a pretext for meeting a woman during working hours," Elroy sneered. Alphonse stifled his annoyance. At least it seemed as if the other man hadn't overheard the earlier conversation. Clearing his throat, Alphonse said evenly, "She's a civilian who's assisting on my investigation, so knock it off when... And you? What are you doing here? "Nothing in particular. I just happened to be passing by. We've got to patrol a much wider area now thanks to all this vampire nonsense." Alphonse stood and gave him a cold look. "Watch what you're saying. People in this area have lost families and friends, their family and friends because of these murders." Elroy snorted and cast an uncaring glance at the spot where the first victim had been found. "I mean, seriously, vampire murders? We're supposed to be the Imperial Army, not a bunch of country bracers. Are we seriously considering the possibility that fairy tale creatures like that exist? And besides, what kind of idiot goes out at night when there's a serial killer on the loose? They were asking for it if you ask me. People need to stay in their damn homes and stop making more work for us. You son of a..." Enraged by the sheer carelessness of Elroy's words, Alphonse started towards him. Or tried to. Rather, strong and yielding fingers held him by the arm. Completely expressionless and without so much as a glance at Elroy, Rose whispered, "Arguing with him serves no purpose. That time we better spent investigating." He spoke calmly, but her words were sharp and dismissive. What she said was right, though, and hearing it was enough for Alphonse to cool his temper. As she said, there had more important things to be doing. He had sworn that he would solve these murders and put the past behind him, and that needed to be his foremost priority. He took a deep breath to regain his composure. The reassuring weight of the silver sword in his uniform further reminded him of what he needed to do. Watching them, Elroy gave a bored, derisive laugh. "Oh, and civilian helper or wherever you are, don't you go wandering around at night either? The last thing the army needs is more dead bodies to clear up. And with a mocking wave, he left them. After their inspection at the first crime scene, Alphonse and Rose spent the remainder of the day scrutinising the scenes of the second and third murders. But in the end, their search yielded no fruit. After reporting their progress to Gerard, he made his way to the Allegria, where he had promised to meet Rose to discuss how they were to proceed with the investigation. The city around them was bathed in the orange glow of the setting sun when Alphonse finally stepped into the sparsely populated tavern. He found Rose sitting at a table near one of the windows. Once again, she was wearing a navy coat from their first meeting. It seems safe to assume the rapey she used that night was inside too. "Evening," she called out to him. "I was expecting you to be here sooner." Alphonse didn't reply. He was too busy staring at the girl sitting opposite her. "What's wrong, Luca?" Luca turned at the sound of her name, eyes so wide and moist that tears threatened to fall at any moment. "Alfie, why is this woman to you?" "What?" Perplexed, he looked over in Rose's direction as if seeking an explanation. Rose favoured him with a bland expression. "All I did was walk into this tavern and state I would like to find an out-of-the-way table to discuss the future with Al." Great. "And she had been pressing me with endless questions ever since." She sighed and shrugged her shoulders as if she understood the situation no better than Alphonse did. Seeing this, he let out an even greater sigh. Before Luca could launch into another interrogation, Alphonse set about explaining Rose's role as a civilian helper, aiding an army investigation. And after several reassurances, he was eventually able to clear up the misunderstanding. Luca's relief seemed to fill her with renewed energy. Cheerfully, she bounded up from their table and made her way into the back of the tavern again. With her departure, so too left the gaze of the other curious and amused patrons. Rose and Alphonse bent discussing their investigation. Vampires, Rose elaborated, were only able to use their powers at night. During the day, they were no different from ordinary humans. Unfortunately, this meant that even if they were able to encounter one, neither of them would be able to tell. If they hoped to end the murders, they would first need to find some kind of clue as to the vampire's true identity. I'm going to say it now, it's Elroy, isn't it? I haven't read this before, is it Elroy? At one point during the conversation, Alphonse went pale as a thought that they might have to exhume the corpses of previous victims in order to reinvestigate them. But Rose assured them that would not be necessary. To his great relief, she had already checked them thoroughly for clues. Even that gruesome task had yielded little more information, and the similarities between the bite marks though. Their vampire foe was a cunning one. The number of bodies and lack of clues all pointed towards a careful killer, who more than likely was living right there among them as an ordinary human. After working their way through the simple meal that Luca had brought them, Rose casually glanced over at the back of the tavern. "You seemed rather close to that girl," she murmured. It took a few moments for Alphonse to realise who Rose was referring to. "Yeah, I guess you could say that. I've known her for 10 years now, after all." He had first met Luca when he was brought to Heimdall by Gerard. Initially, he had stayed in a house near the tavern, and was brought by it often. And being brought by it often, two of them quickly became friends. As an orphan, Luca's support over the years meant more to him than words could express. Telling Rose all this, Alphonse could feel his cheeks heating. He began fidgeting awkwardly. "I'm a little nervous," Rose said. As she spoke, Alphonse noticed a change in her expression and tone. Usually she said things sharply, with an air of cool detachment. Her face also rarely betrayed her inner thoughts. Now, though, he thought he caught a hint of loneliness. Unable to let this pass unnoticed, Alphonse opened his mouth to comment. Suddenly, Rose jumped out of her seat. Her chair fell to the ground with a crash. Once again, the two of them became the subject of a room full of gazers, but she paid that fact no mind and stared out of the window, her eyes open wide. "What is it? What's wrong?" Alphonse whispered loudly. "It's nearby. I can sense it." "It? What do you mean?" "The vampire!" she hissed. No sooner had she said it, she raced over to the tavern's owner, who was busy at the back of the building. Alphonse chased after her. He had never seen her in such a panicked state before. "Where was the young lady who was here earlier?" Rose asked the puzzled tavern owner, who didn't appear to have any idea who she was referring to. It was then that Alphonse realised that he didn't see Luca anywhere, and hadn't seen her since she brought them their food a half hour before. After telling this to the owner, he finally seemed to realise what he was being asked. "Now that you mention it, I would have expected her to be back by now. I must have run an errand over the grocery store opposite here." Alphonse and Rose exchanged a glance, and instantly understood what the other was thinking. Overcome with a sense of great foreboding, the two of them rushed out of the shop without saying a word. Okay, I really need to read that in my own time. It seems like a really cool story. But I actually have to call this apart here. So, I'm going to catch you next time when we go and investigate Lunaria Nature Park. And this guy totally won't mind as I save in front of his face. I love how mostly, like, stare at the camera. Stay away from the camera, away from the camera, away from the camera. Interlude. Our camera, away. To the camera! To the camera! But yeah. So, next time on Trails of Cold Steel, we're going to investigate Lunaria Nature Park and see where we go from there. I've been Northern Crusader, you've been you. Join me again next time for more in the wonderful world of the Urbonia in Trails of Cold Steel. Enjoy this part, folks, and I will catch you another time. Ciao.